Okay, hi everybody, thanks for joining us for this amazing talk. My name is Damien Lanzy, I'm one of the product owners working on the inventory application, so I'm very happy to be here with you after 1 year of work with the R&D team to show you all the great work we have accomplished. And we have done a lot. So I'm happy to have with me, because he will do the biggest part of this presentation, my dear colleague, Louis. Hi, Louis.
Hi, Damien. Hi, everyone. I'm business analyst, but also inventory expert here at Odoo, And today I'm going to present you what this new version is, Odoo 19. And I will be able to present to you actually why the inventory management is much simpler, but also for users, but also for integrators.
Yes, so before we start, I would like to remind you that at Odoo we are always trying to help people do more in less time. That's really what matters for us. We want users to feel efficient in their work, not bored in long encoding stuff, not bored with long processes. Everything needs to be efficient and fast. So every year we try to make a new version better, faster and stronger. And so for that we want a better user experience, because you are spending all your day inside Odoo, so you need to be happy with it. A faster processes, so you can save time for a copy machine, and stronger reliability, because of course we want you to sleep well at night and not be anxious of what Odoo is doing for you.
To be honest, Damien, when we started the year of Odoo for the Odoo 19 version, I was a bit stressed, and I think all the team was stressed because it's always a bit scary for big changes, okay? Because it might disturb the way we actually implement customers' projects. And I remember you telling me at the beginning of the year, okay, for Odoo 19 we'll do it better, but we might remove some things as well. And I was like, oh, okay, let's try and see if it can be still used by our clients.
Yeah, it's true that we started the year after Odoo 18 convinced that our inventory application was already super great. We have a lot of features, maybe too much, but the most important is not to remove, but it's to be focused on value we can give to customer. And we really wanted to start the year focusing on a better onboarding, a better user experience. We wanted an inventory application you can take with you and grow with it. We don't want the users to have to adapt to inventory, but inventory to adapt to the needs of a user when he is growing in his business. And that's why for that we needed to make some big changes, but not just because we want to change for the pleasure, no. It's because we are really convinced this change will put Odoo way better, way faster and way stronger.
And don't worry, Damien. Actually, all the team is really convinced on all the work you have done with the R&D for this year. And I'm really eager to show you that to all of you today.
Yes. So as a reminder, we always finish this kind of presentation with a Q&A session. So feel free to scan this QR code or to navigate to pad.odoo.com/p/inventory-19 and write all your questions, all the questions you could have during this presentation. We will take time to answer them at the end of this presentation. We will put the QR code back at the end if you didn't have time to scan it now. So for this presentation, let's put ourselves in the shoes of a small entrepreneur running a business who is selling office furniture, the well-known Stealthy Wood. And Stealthy Wood has decided to use Odoo because they want to grow, of course. But they only started with the CRM part, the website, to get more leads, to get more sales. And then, now that it's working, because of course it's working, they kind of struggling to fulfill all these orders, and they need to go one step further and start using inventory management. So for this presentation, we will see how Stealthy Wood can be on board on inventory, how they can manage their procurement, how can ship the goods to the customers, and how they can closely look at the stock valuation they have in their warehouse, and maybe a bit of accounting, but let's keep that for the end, of course. So first thing first, let's onboard Stealthy Wood in inventory. And when you onboard a small company like Stealthy Wood, there is two big needs that you want to solve. You need a clear view on your stock level, and you need to follow all the operations you have to do in order to not forget to deliver something to your customer. How simple it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, what seems simple at first often turns complicated. And here are some feedback that we received from users, from you, from partners, from the community that highlight this. The first one is simply that configuring a product is not that simple. When you just started inventory and you start tracking the inventory of your product, you have a lot of options. Routing, tracking, serial number, valuation, and it can be scary for you. And even more, if you made a mistake in your configuration, you can quickly get stuck. So we all had this feeling of creating a product, start selling it, then realizing we forget to track the inventory. And yes, we have to start all over again because we could not change that in the past, but I'm sure we can do better with Odoo 19. And there is also some concept that we had that were so close to each other that nobody knows when to use what. So of course I want to talk about the unit and packaging, as Fabien said this morning, and we really wanted to make it simpler, so we decided to merge. So let's see with Louis how we can do it better in Odoo 19.
So let's jump together in our database. So for that, what I would like to focus your attention to is on the configuration of the product itself. So let's go to the sales, products, and jump into the products catalog here that we have. You can see that we have already a lot of products in our catalog. But here I would like to focus on the start product, which is at the top left here, which is the office chair. Because as Damien said, when you're starting your inventory, the business, you do not really want to track your product in stock. The first priority is to sell those products, okay? But at some point you would like to start changing the configuration and start to be more into the details of the inventory. And this is why now in Odoo 19 you can jump from one option to the other by just deciding if you want to track it or not. There is no more question like, should I start it from scratch? Should I just archive this product, create a new one, change the configuration? No, it's really clear. And you can just configure your product at the pace of your company is growing. So when that is done, you can see that there is no problem at all, even if this product has been sold already, right? I would like to do a small inventory adjustment directly from the product. Now from Odoo 19, you can directly jump into the quantity on hand and create a new line here for the inventory quantity. By just doing this, it's good to go. You have configured what you needed to have for this product. But that's not all. What we wanted to focus as well on this configuration is about packagings. Because Stealthy Wood started to actually sell the product by packagings of 6 units. So how simpler it is now in Odoo 18 to configure such this. Let's go to the sales, and here we have automatically the packaging that we can create from scratch. Let's say pack of 6. You can create an edit from here, you can adapt the quantity and say that the reference unit will be units. And that's it, you have configured the packaging of 6 for this product. How easy it is. Now, also, if you would like to go a bit deeper in the configuration, you can jump again, and here you can even assign a specific barcode for this packaging that you're gonna use later. And as you can see, you can even add multiple barcodes for the same packaging for that product. So let's save, and now this is all done. But that's not all. What I want to do as well is to make sure I can buy those chairs to my vendor by packagings of 6 units as well. For that, it's easy. You purchase, you go to Purchase tab. And from here, you can definitely change easily the units you would like to use for your vendors. You can even have different vendors with different units, and you can have also different lines for the same vendor with different units. So have you all the criteria you can have to purchase your product to your vendor. All right, so that being said, we have configured our product in a simple way. Let's go back to the slides now to continue with Damien.
Thank you, Louis, for this presentation of the onboarding on how we can onboard Stealthy Wood now easily, even if they already started using Odoo before. Now that we have a clear view on our stock level, it's time to fulfill the warehouse, and it's time to talk about procurement. For Stealthy Wood and for most of small businesses, when we talk about procurement, there is 2 big needs. We need to order the right quantity, not too much, of course, not avoiding overstocking, but not too less, because we don't want to run out of stock and not being able to fulfill our customers. And of course, we want to optimize cost, because the margin is very important. If we can reduce the cost, we will have better revenue. This sentence I heard too much. I'm sure it is possible with Odoo, but I can't find how. Ouch. For me, as a product owner, it's hurt me, because either it means we missed a feature, or worse, we have the feature, but we failed it because customers are not able to find it. And here are some feedback from you again that explain more that in detail. The first one is something that we missed. We visited a small beverage store, and they showed us, because they were prospecting to use Odoo, and they showed us what they were used to. And they were like, oh no, to replenish my warehouse, I don't want a complex tool. I don't want to automate with min-max rule. I don't want MPS or stuff like that. I just want to order once a week, once a month to my vendor, based on the seasonality of last year, or based on what I sold the 13 last days and stuff like that. But I'm sure Odoo can do it now. No. Yes, we are working on it. So we go back to the office and we created a task. The second feedback is, yes, when you are starting to have a bigger business, you don't want to order just like this once a month or once a week. You want to automate stuff, you want to manage the stock level of each product, so you want to create some reordering rules. But the transition is not easy for small companies like this, because they are not used to manage big warehouse with this kind of stuff. And we have a lot of this feedback that I don't know what minimum and maximum I should put on my reordering rule. So we really wanted to make this great feature of Odoo simpler for users, so they can really feel comfortable of adapting this to their company and set the right minimum and maximum value and all the other settings that we have on the replenishment dashboard. Last but not least, I can't find how to order on demand. I can't find how I can configure Odoo to create a purchase order as soon as I have a sales, because this product I don't want to stock it. Yes, it's easy. You can just go in the configuration, you activate multi-step route, you go in the list of routes, you look for the archived route, and there it is. You have this make to order route, you just have to unarchive it, and that's it. It's super easy, no? Yes, I think we can do better. So let's jump into Odoo again with Louis and see how Odoo 19 has been improved on that.
Yes, so in order to explain to you all the topic about procurements, I think the first thing to do here is to go to the purchase, all right? Because creating a purchase order in Odoo is really easy. You just create a new one by adding your vendor. Let's take Wood Corner here, and then you have to choose the product you have to order, right? Choosing the product that you have to order is quite easy if you know exactly. But what happens if you don't know? You can go now from Odoo 19 to the catalog. The catalog has been already there, but now we improved it even further thanks to a new branded feature called the Suggest. So thanks to this feature, you will be able to actually know which type of product you are going to order to your vendor, but also in what quantities. Okay. So here, basically, you have different parameters on which you can play. First, you can decide the replenish for number of days. So it's like the period for which you would like to replenish. Let's change that together to 14 days. You are going to see that as soon as I'm changing settings here, you are going to see that the monthly demand or suggested quantity will adapt automatically. So here, let's imagine that I would like to base myself on, let's say, the last 3 months. I could also choose another period, but I could also choose the forecasted quantity, so the current one. Let's do the last 3 months. Here you see that automatically this has been adapted. Now I can change as well the percentage here, because my company is actually growing fast. So I would like to make sure I have enough quantity. And this is super clear. You need to know as well that this suggest feature is applied on the current filter on which you are. If, for instance, you go in the specific categories and you would like to see which product you have to order for a specific category, Odoo will adapt automatically the number of products that you are going to set and adapts the total amount as well. But let's say that for this one, we just would like to order all these products. We can just press on the Add All button, and then we can go back to the quotation, and everything is added in one shot into our purchase order. That's super great. That's a first way of managing procurement in Odoo. But as Damien mentioned before, what we can do as well is setting specific minimum and maximum stock level if we would like for key products keeping a certain level in stock. To do so, what we have to do is to go to inventory, then operations, and replenishment. From here, you can already see that we have improved the design a bit, so that now we display to the users all the information Odoo will be based on when triggering the replenishment. A good example is with the routes. Here you can see it is in gray. Okay, it means that it's the default pool that will be taken by default when pressing the button order. But this kind of information is exactly the same for vendors, for instance. So that here you can see directly which vendor is set it by default. That's super convenient. As well, if we open the left side here, we can see that we have the origin. It was already there, but now what we've done is that we have made that parameter configurable directly in the main settings. So if you want to do it, you just go to settings here and you are able to change the default value, which is right now 365 days. So here, in order to show you, we can actually change that origin whenever it suits you best. For instance, we can see the impact of this second line here, on which we have 7 units to order. And here, by changing this, let's say to 20 days, you see that the quantity has dropped automatically based on that origin. That's super clear. But that's not all. For that, I will just click here and I will show you how to quickly create a replenishment rule in Odoo 19. So here you can just click and add, for instance, a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 48. Automatically, you see that, for instance, this field, which is new, has been adapted to pack of 6. It means that actually this is the configuration we've made all together before. The vendor price list is actually related to wood corner with a packaging of 6 units. So Odoo will take that into account when you are going to reorder the units to your vendor. So now this is why we have 42 units to order here. And this is also the reason why we have a little attention points here, because actually it means that we are going to be a little bit over the maximum quantity. So you can really adapt everything. You can see all the information on your screen. But now let's go even further. If I click on the little eye here, you see that the view has been totally revamped. You see on the left side all the information you need to know about the dates and the lead time that will be used to compute the quantity you need to order based on the forecasted date. It is really clear. And as well, I'm sure you've seen it already, guys. We have a tool on the left side. On the right side, sorry. So this tool on the right side is used to actually control the rule that you have already configured. So basically here you have different options that you can do. You can actually base yourself on past data, increase the percentage here, a bit like we've seen together in the suggest. And you can see that here with this graph and the information below, you see the ordering frequency, the average stock, and all this kind of information so that you can adapt the rule. Let's do it together, because actually here ordering frequency of 223 days is quite a lot, because I do not want to keep in my stock a lot of product for nothing. So let's try to change the maximum quantity and divide it by 2. Automatically, Odoo displays the graphs accordingly and update the information below. The ordering frequency has dropped and the average stock is now 18 units, which is fine for me because I know that the business is growing as well, so I would like to keep some stock in case we sell a lot of shares. Before leaving this view, I would like to quickly go in the vendor tab here on the vendor wood corner and click on it here. Because yes, we have another new feature. On the sales and purchase tab, you have now the group RFQ feature. This one, for some people here who probably knows, is replacing the propagate procurement group on a rule by. Wow, that's quite difficult, right? For those who knows, it's powerful, but a lot of people don't know how to use it correctly. This is why we made it simple for you guys. So here you can just, by just clicking here, you can decide to not group it, so you select on order, or you group it daily, weekly, or always. And that's really convenient. And it's based on the vendor itself. Let's take the always option here and just save and go back to the replenishment. I remember that here the best to do is actually putting 24 units in the maximum. And now let's just together press on the order button. Now we have a purchase order that has been created, all right? And this purchase order, we are going to see it right now in the purchase. Actually, I didn't create any purchase order. It has been grouped into an existing purchase order, PO12, on which we had already some office lamp to be purchased. That's really convenient. Now, what I would like to show you again is the MTO, because it's well known for everyone, but maybe not everyone exactly, because it's quite difficult to configure. Now in Odoo, what we just done is that here in the main settings, you can just type MTO and clicking on the replenishment on order feature. That will actually allows you to select the route on your product if you want to, but also on your sales order line. Let's go to product, and let's do it for the specific product, corner desk left seat. This one, from now, I would like to buy it on order. It means that on the product itself, I will just select the route MTO. That's super convenient. And I don't know if you've seen it, but you do not have other routes here on the product form. Because, again, we keep things simple. If a product is purchased and have a vendor price list, Odoo, when replenishing it, will use by default the buy route. Nothing should be configured by you or by the integrators. Everything is done on the shot. Also, it's the same for a manufacturing product. If this product has a bill of material, when replenishing it, we are going to create a manufacturing order. No route should be set on the product. That's really easy in terms of configuration again. That being done, we can jump into the sales, and I would like to show you a bit more about this. Let's create a sales order for Deco Addict, and this company asked for a full desk setup. They would like to test this product, so they will only order 1 unit, but for the drawers, they already agreed on 22 units, and the same for the desk organizer. What we can see here is really powerful. We have already a warning saying that if more than 20 drawers, we have to order it to the vendor. Why? Because now that I've grown in my business, I started to make that drawer in-house. But for a lot of quantities to be ordered, I'm not able to do it. So I would like the sales guy to know it, and here just adapt the route to purchase the product. So here I will just select the replenish on order route, and as you can see, yes, we can put several routes on a sales order line right now in Odoo 19, which is really convenient. Here we're just saying that we are going to replenish, but we would like to create a purchase order. For the desk organizer, we would like to also replenish an order because we see that the graph here is red and we have only 6 units available. So let's do that configuration. For that one, I do not have to add the buy route. Why? Because actually this product, I do not manufacture it and Odoo will do it for me. That being done, I can just confirm. And the first thing that you can see is this warning here. We have now a warning sent to the product responsible, so for the desk organizer, and as well to the salesperson on this sales order, saying that a manual action is required because actually this product is not configured with a specific vendor. So Odoo doesn't know how to replenish exactly that product. So either you go to the purchase order and you type in manually, or you are going to actually change the settings on the product so that you'll be all good for next time. Before, let's jump into here the purchase. And here we can clearly see that we are taking exactly the same purchase order than before. We just added on top the corner desk lift and the drawer, which is really convenient because as a business, I would like to ask maybe discount to my vendors, but also I would like to reduce my administrative task related to this. So that's all, guys, about procurement. We can also talk about MPS, but that you can discover on another talk.
Thank you, Louis. That's a lot of new features for procurement and a lot of improvements. So now that the warehouse is full of products ready to be delivered to the customer, let's talk about shipping. So when we are talking about shipping, of course, we are talking about stock reservation, so how I can ensure that these chairs in my warehouse will be reserved to my clients. And also I want to track packages, so as soon as I put these chairs on the pallet or on a box and I close the box, I don't know what's inside, so I need to know everything. at any time. And of course, I need to know where this box or where this pallet is until I delivered it to the customer. So when it's come to shipping, we want to be fast because we don't want customers to wait. Here are some feedback we received on that. So the first thing to make customers be ready to wait is to manage their expectation. But for that, you need your sales team to have a clear view when it can be shipped to the client. And basically, we had everything in Odoo 18 and even in previous versions. But it seems, as we can see with these feedbacks, that a lot of salesperson, a lot of new users do not understand how the forecast of Odoo for a product is working. So we really needed to make it easier to understand, to make it easier to use, so you can easily deviate from the reservation. Sometimes you have a more priority order that you want to deliver faster than another order that has been made, I don't know, 2 months ago, but it's for 2 weeks ago, so I will have time to replenish. So the forecast has to be very clear for your sales team so they can manage the expectation of the customers. The second feedback is, my operators are stuck with no help, or at least they are slowed down with no help. So how can I be sure we can be super efficient to move packages from packing zone to delivery? How we can help the operators when he arrive in front of an empty shelf. Odoo said to him, you have to pick the product at that shelf, but it's not there. We don't want them to be blocked, we want them to stay efficient and to be able to pick it somewhere else super fast, so you don't be late in your delivery. Finally, a lot of partners here are waiting for it for probably 5 years or more. How can I track a box in a pallet? It was possible to track a package inside another packages I don't remember the version, in an old version of Odoo, but it was super complex. But I'm happy to say that with Odoo 19, you will be able to do it again, and it will be super simple. So let's discover that with Louis.
Yes, Damien. So talking about shipping, the first thing that I will do is going to sales and creating a sales order with you. Let's imagine that actually Azure Interior asks for different products, like the cabinet with doors for 3 units, but also actually the desk cleaner plus product in 3 units as well. I will just confirm this sales order, all right? And now what we can see is that we have already an issue. But is it really an issue? We have a red graph here that shows actually that we do not have future availability for this product. What I want to do, I want to view the forecast to know a bit more about it. Let's jump into it. Right now, what you can see is that the forecast has been redesigned in such a way that we display to you all the information in a clear way. First, on the top right here, you can see that we even display the time to replenish. It is really convenient, and you can even jump into the computation to see all the lead times that have been used in order to compute this. At the bottom, you see a clear understanding of the quantity to reserve, and on the right part, all the things that are actually reserving stock. So for now, you can see that we have this kind of delivery dates. We are already delayed for this Gemini Furniture customer, but here what we would like to see is that what we can do actually for our customer, which is highlighted in red. Actually, what we can do is setting this one as a top priority and unreserve the quantity from here so that we deliver it on today, and that one I will do it later, even tomorrow or even after. It's not a big deal for this customer. So I can just unreserve so that now it's clear that this one is a top priority, and I can reserve the stock of the 3 units for this customer. And now what I can do is that I can already reserve the remaining quantities available for that product for that customer. I have only 3 units to be replenished, and I will call the vendor to do it as soon as possible. That's super clear. Now when you go back to your sales order, you're going to have this green graph. You're all good to go. But what I wanted to show you as well is that the forecast is not only accessible through the graph, it's accessible from a lot of places like the stock report and everything, but you can go on the product as well and jump directly into the forecast view here. You can see that for this one, the view is slightly different. Why? Because this product is tracked by lot and have expiration date. So it means that on the forecast, we display to you the number of units that needs to be removed now, that are not considered in the reservation process because you cannot use them anymore. And then you see the stock to reserve of 3 units for this customer, and you even see for the free stock available, like the remove date that is assigned to it, the 24th of September. So you're good to go. And here you even see as well the purchase, which is actually late, but you are going to receive those quantity in stock really soon. So in a few clicks, I just show you this forecast, which is really convenient, not only for salespersons, but also for the inventory management. Now let's go to shipping, because that was the purpose, right? For Stealthy Wood, what we do is that we do it in 2 steps outbound flows. What does it mean? We pick and pack in one shot, and then we deliver to the customer. So let's dive into the delivery here. I go to the pick and pack operation, and right there, I'm sure you've seen it, guys, here we have a smart button of the barcode. We jump directly from the transfer to the barcode view, which is really convenient. And from there, we are going to be able to process that picking and packing operation. How can I do it? I will just go to the stock, which is my first location here, and I will just pick the 3 items. It's simple as this. I will just click on the +3. Now I would like to put these 3 items into one single box. I can just here mimic the scan, okay, because I do not have a scanner with me. I can just go here and scan the box barcode, which is the one associated to my package type, which is the box. I can apply, and boom, Odoo generated automatically a sequence box 01 for these products. That's super convenient. Now let's jump into our other shelf, which is shelf 1. Here we have to pick 3 products, but I'm in front of this shelf 1, and I do not see any product to be picked. In Odoo 19, we go even further now, because we display to you, thanks to the pencil button, the quantity in stock in other location, but we also allows you to actually click on the location where you have to go. By just clicking and confirming, you back to shelf 2, and now you can actually pick the items. Let's do it together. And now those ones, I would like to put them in a separate box as well. Let's do the same as before and apply. That's it. We have our 2 boxes. But that's not all. What I want to do now is to put box 1 and box 2 into a single pallet. How we'll be able to do it in Odoo 19? We just go and scan the pallet barcode that we've created on the package type, and we apply, and that's it. In one click, you have the pallet 1 that contains the 2 boxes. You can just validate, and you're good for the next step. The next step is actually the delivery, and what you can do is jumping to the next transfer, jumping to barcode again, and here you see that you have only your pallets that you have to scan to make your delivery done. Let's do it together. I just take the barcode of this product and I apply. And that's it. Now I can validate, and I've delivered my products. We have also made a lot of improvements in dispatch management, but I advise you to go and see other talks. So that being said, we can go back to our slides now to check the next part with Damien.
And it's already the last part already. Time is running fast. Yeah. And it's the scary part. I think valuation is probably one of the thing that scares the most inventory users. When we are talking about valuation, of course, we want to have a clean overview of the value of what we have currently in our warehouse, but we also want to be able to audit that information. So the auditability of the valuation is very important. I want to control the valuation, not fighting with it. I don't remember who said that. I'm not even sure I didn't imagine it. Maybe I imagined it, but I can still hear it in my head. So here are some feedback that highlight this sentence. I can't correct my inventory on the 31 of December. So yes, last week I received a big reception, but it was the hurry with the end of the year, so I didn't have the time to encode it in Odoo. And now we are the 7th of January, I'm back from holiday, and I can't validate it for the last week, for the week before the 31. So I'm only able to validate it now in January, but it means that if I do an inventory valuation of my stock for the end of the previous year, I cannot do that. So that's clearly something we wanted to improve. The second one is how I can trust Odoo on valuation. We have this question a lot. I'm sure an expert like Louis is able to explain to you everything about valuation layers, but for a new user, even for some experienced user, it's super complex. Valuation layers are great because everything is recorded. We have the stock valuation that is correct at any time, but it creates a lot of information and it's very difficult to read it and to audit it. So we wanted to improve that part also. And finally, a big feedback was, okay, I'm a small business. I'm only running my inventory valuation for accounting once every 3 months or once a year. But Odoo does not help me at all on that part. I'm forced to go for the fully automated perpetual valuation, but I don't need that. And for me, who wants a simple thing, I have no help. So definitely, that was something that we wanted to improve. So last but not least, let's go back to our beloved product with Louis to see how stronger Odoo 19 is on valuation.
All right, so I will try to be clear, guys, and you'll see that you will understand everything in one shot. If not, just come to the booth and we can discuss. About valuation, there is only one actually stock report that you have to look at. With this report, you see everything about your valuation. The unit cost, the total value, and the on-hand quantity, which is really convenient. There is no more confusion about which report you have to look at, either the stock, either the valuation report. No, there is only one. Make things simple here. So now let's take an example of an inventory at date. If I jump in the inventory at date and I would like to check that for the 15th of September, for instance, I can confirm, and here for the product mouse, I see that I have no quantity on hand. And this is weird, but I remember that at that time, I received those quantities in stock, but I didn't process the receipt in Odoo. And this is the reason why. And now we are going to see all together how we can backdate a move. And I will explain that now in Odoo. If we go in the purchase, it means that there is one purchase on which we haven't received the quantity yet. And this is that purchase order. We can go to the receive button here, and then we can decide to validate that reception. Here, it has been validated today. But what I want to do is that I would like to backdate that reception. And I can just change the effective date on the 15th of September. By doing this, now if I go back to the stock reports, and again jump into the inventory at date on the 15th of September, and have a look to my mouse product, I see that I have the on-hand quantity, which is super easy to do. But that's not all about backdating. As Damien explained, we need to do it sometimes from the physical inventory. And for that, we just go to physical inventory, and here you would like to specify that a specific count has been done on a specific date. Let's illustrate that. Here, let's say that you have counted 65, but that count, you made it on a specific date. You can just select the line and click on the apply button, and from here, you are also able to set a specific counting date. That's really convenient for the end of the year, for instance. So let's put whatever we want here and just update quantities. That being said, it's not all. Now we need to go a bit deeper into the stock report. So here, by jumping into the different values that we have here, we are going to have much more information. We can, for instance, check the value and have the different information here, but let's take a good example with our mouse product. Here, we can jump on the total value, and here you have the different moves that have been related to this change of value for this product. So you clearly see that this one is actually the receipt we have done together. And then we had a physical inventory and then another receipt, and here it impacted the remaining quantity and the remaining value. And of course, it had an impact as well on the unit cost. And here you clearly see the impact of the unit cost over the past days, all right? So that's really convenient, but to show you a bit more, I will now just create a simple sales order. The purpose here is not to show you the sales order part, but just showing you what's gonna happen in terms of valuation. So here I can just save, go to my delivery, validate the pick, I can do next transfer and validate it as well. Now we have to go to the inventory, reporting and stock again. And now this is where I would like to show you. If I jump back to my product, I see that I have the unit cost being at 28.10. If I want to know a bit more about it, I can just click on it, and here we see what has been the changes. Basically, it removed one quantity as a value of 35, and so now the average value of this product is 28.10. I didn't mention that earlier, but this product is actually tracked by a costing method being FIFO, all right? So it means that if we jump into the total value, we clearly see that the remaining quantity here being 4 instead of 5 before. It means that actually the product that has been out from my stock is well out from that specific move, all right? So that's super clear. If you want to go deeper, you can just click here and analyze your valuation. There is no more valuation layer, nothing complex. And what you can do as well is from your stock moves, you can even adjust the value thanks to the action here and adjust valuation. By doing this, you're going to see the current status and you are going to set a new value if you want. It will be displayed with the reason, everything on the wizard here. But that's not all, guys. We have simplified all the configuration of the valuation. And for that, I would like to go to settings and looking at the valuation, that's better like this. You can see that the configuration is much more simpler now. You can decide between two options, even periodic at closing or perpetual at invoicing. And then you can choose the periodicity. Even you are on manual, so you are going to create your journal entries manually, or you are going to automate that daily, weekly. All right, let's put it as manual so that I can show you it works. Then you have other parameters that you can set as well as default. So that being done, what I would like to do now is, yes, jumping to the accounting app, because Odoo is cross-app and we can do everything from everywhere. Here, let's jump into the new menu, review, and jump directly into the inventory valuation. From there, you can choose the as of date, all right? And from there, you can actually choose the date, and Odoo automatically shows you what needs to be done. You have an initial balance of 0 because that's the first time I'm doing it here for you. So here we see that we have an ending stock of this value, and this is becoming from the stock report. At the bottom, you have this value, which is exactly the same. And here you have a nice button, generate entry, so that you can just generate the journal entry in order to match your valuation in accounting with the valuation computed on the stock report. In one click, it's done. Amazing, right? So now let's go back to our slide to conclude this presentation.
Thank you, Louis, for all these presentation. It's already time to close this presentation. So we have here a small recapitulation of all the new features that we have seen. And of course, if you want to know more, because we didn't have the time to see everything, you can go to odoo.com/odoo19 release notes and find all the explanation about all the new features. Or you can stay here all the afternoon. We have great talks about inventory, so advanced flow and stuff like that. So if you want to see how to manage inventory with Odoo 19, you have to be here this afternoon. And if you don't want, see you tomorrow in Auditorium 2000C for the What's New in Purchase. So it's your turn. Let's answer your questions. I'm sure you have a lot.
No.
Can you hear me now? Yes? All right.
Interviewer.
Okay. So we do have a lot of questions.
Le retour?
First one. Yeah, first one. Better now?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great.
Now we can hear you.
So the first one is regarding MDO, so replenish on order. Is it possible to set a reordering rule on the product and not on the variant? So for instance, if I want to replenish t-shirts, but not like a white t-shirt, a black t-shirt and stuff.
Okay. So
Yes.
so yes, you can do it.
You can show it on the database.
So here, if I go here in the inventory, you see that in the replenishment, you have here the product, all right? And here you can just click. I think I have some customization on the product, like the customizable desk.
Yes.
And you see you can, for instance, choose a specific variance on your replenishment dashboard directly.
Thanks. Next questions with suggestions, so the new feature of version 19. Is it possible to suggest also alternative components and alternative products?
No. So the way it works, it's really based on all the products that you needed to deliver in the past or you needed to produce. So it's not about cross-product suggestion. It's really about what you will need in the future based on what you delivered in the past. Or there is the other option is to suggest what you need just based on the forecast. If I have a forecast that is negative in 10 days, I want to order just what I need for these 10 days. So these are the two options, but it's not something that will suggest alternative products and stuff like that. It's really to order quickly what you need based on what you usually need, what Odoo knows from the past.
Yeah.
So the next question is regarding what you said. So where does the information actually come from? Is it from confirmed orders?
So it's coming mostly about, of course, the sales. So if you go to purchase, let's quickly jump into a single. We checked here on the catalog. Okay, so here the monthly demand that you see, it's for sure coming from sales order. Okay, so either you based yourself on the past, or you can also look for the forecasted quantity.
So let me correct. It's not only sales order. It's all transfer that gets out of your warehouse.
Yeah, but it's quite obvious that it's everything going out in order to compute that monthly demand.
So next question, how can you evaluate a specific warehouse in a specific location at a specific time? Can you do it?
You want to do it?
Can you I didn't hear the question.
How we can evaluate one warehouse at a specific time. So basically in the inventory, in the stock report, if you do the inventory at date, but you filter on a specific location or you filter on a specific warehouse, the computation, the report that you will have will be for this specific warehouse or this specific location. What you can't do, unfortunately, is to make a group buy of by location or by warehouse and have that information. But if you have to do it once per warehouse, it's quite okay. Once per location, I don't know exactly what's the use case, but probably you don't need that for all your locations. So if it's for one specific location, it's possible. But basically, if you filter here on the search and select one specific warehouse,
it's because
the valuation will be.
We do not have different warehouses, but if I create one quickly,
yes, it works also in the.
We'll have
normally
it here.
It works also in the past.
You see?
You can try.
And here it's filters. Of course, I have nothing in second warehouse.
Do an inventory on the past.
But here I
don't know if you have the data.
I do not have maybe the data for this one.
If you have a doubt, come to us.
We can come. Yeah.
I agree that should be possible.
Right, next question. So is there an option on how to set a longer forecasted period on the product? So is there any deadline on the forecast of the product? Because for this customer, they have clients that order for months and years in the future. So how?
So the question is about...
I guess it's about horizon or lead time. So there is different parameters to manage that. Either you define the global horizons. No, the horizon is across all products, but if you want to have a specific lead time for one product, you can define it as a lead time on the vendor, or you can define a specific route with a lead time, but that's very complex. Basically, it's possible, but it's super advanced, so yeah, not a super simple thing to do.
Next question, could there be a minimum stock alert? So when you do a sales order, how can you show that you have a stock alert, like you have reached under the minimum?
You do not have a stock alert from your sales order. You just see the graph that is becoming red.
I didn't hear the question.
I think I'm answering well the question, I think, but so you have the forecast that will be red, so that you can see that you have an issue there. You can either manipulate it manually by reserving, unreserving, or even like sending a message on Chatter to the product responsible or whatever. But you won't have an alert, let's say, pay attention, you do not have in stock.
But of course, you can automate some reordering rule to
Yes.
automatically create a purchase order when the stock level is too low,
Yeah.
or when the forecast for this product has a stock level that is below the minimum.
Right. For the forecast and replenish, so it can be used to reserve product by product. But what if you want to prioritize a customer that has several products that are booked for him? Because it takes time to do it manually, line by line. So can you do it by batch? Can you select many?
All right.
We don't have that. For
No,
the
we don't have that. But the thing that you could do is that as soon as you have created your sales order, you can, for instance, store the picking on which actually all the product will be reserved. So that's at the top priority. When going to the reservation, Odoo will target that picking as a top priority, so that it's easily managed.
So maybe can you show again how does it work with the closing and accounting when it comes to backdating and adjusting valuation?
Okay. I think for that, guys, if you want more details, maybe it's better to come to the booth so that we can even explain.
There is also a specific
But-
talk that will go into the details of the valuation this afternoon, so probably better for you to attend
Yeah.
that.
We'll
We
go
don't
deep
have
dive.
the data on our local database to do it fast, and we don't have much time. So
Yeah.
come to the talk this afternoon or come to the booth in the Odoo village if you want to see that.
Yeah.
Can you, for a product, decide the packages already on the sales order and not on the delivery slip?
What was it?
Yes. So if you select a specific package on the sale order, the delivery guys, he will see the main unit of the product, but he will also see what is the packaging that was requested by the customer. So if here you put pack of 6 and you confirm and you jump to the delivery, there you have the units, but if you print or there is another, why packages is, yes, packaging. If you show the packaging column, you have the information that the customer has requesting in the pack of 6. I guess that was the question.
Yeah, I was not sure about the question, so it's good that you answered well.
So next question, is there a possibility to add seasonality in the reordering rules?
In the
reordering rules.
No.
No.
No, it's not possible.
Okay, that's okay.
Seasonality could be managed if you actually use the suggest by looking at a specific period on the past data. You could know, okay, based on that specific period, how many orders have been sent to, like how many products have been sent to customers, or the out moves, as Damien mentioned before. And so based on that, you can see, okay, last year I had that quantities, now I can increase a bit the volume because I know that my business is growing, so I can adjust the percentage to 200%, for instance, so that you have an idea, but you cannot do it from the reordering rules.
And I truly believe that you don't really want that, because replenishment is a complex thing. You want to control it. You don't want the system to order plenty of stuff you don't need. Let's imagine you at the beginning of the year you said, okay, I will set up the reordering rules for all these products in advance, and in summer I will buy a lot of this beer and stuff like that. I automate everything, and then you forget about it, and the vendor does not provide this beer anymore, or I don't know, and you decided to switch to another beer, and you don't want everything to be automatically ordered for you. Replenishment is a daily job, basically. Yeah. So either you go for the suggest when it's something that you need to do once a week or once a month, or you will be working in the replenishment dashboard probably all day long, and you will adapt all the quantities manually or automatically. But yeah.
So it's going a bit back and forth from one subject to another, but again about forecast product. Is it possible to view the product forecast by grouping all warehouses together, and not only in one warehouse?
Don't think it's possible. So I think that what you mean is that if I go to, for instance, the product I showed you, like the desk.
I know the answer.
Me as well, but I will show
it. The
you.
answer is no. But I also know that there is a task on that. So yes,
here you can select the warehouse.
Yes. But we have a task to allow you to unselect the warehouse and see the forecast cross warehouse.
That's good to know that it's in
probably
the
for 20 for Odoo 20.
So we have another question here. Can you quickly show how to assign dimensions and weight for a package?
for a package.
Yeah.
A package type, you mean, I guess.
Yeah.
So
You need to assign a package type to a package.
yeah, but here, basically here on the package type, you can define, as I use the boxes and the pallets, you can define here the dimensions of this package type. And then when you are going to assign that package type to a package, you'll do it either
Package.
from the scanning, so you just scan the box and then it's assigned to the package, or you do it with the pallets, for instance.
And you can
so it's
also
really-
assign
really
this
easy.
package type to the packaging. So now that we have merged unit and packages, if I remember well,
It was on
here
packaging.
I can decide that this unit pack of 6, this package pack of 6 has the package type box with the that dimension, so Odoo will use that information.
And this is really convenient because even you go further with assigning routes and everything, so the configuration is even more complex if you need to.
So we do have also a lot of questions about GS1 barcodes. Some of them are more about any improvement on the printing of labels, on the how to put the GS1 labels on the products.
Not much.
No.
That's something that we want to work on probably next year, but this year it was really not our focus.
So next question, what would be the way to force my customer to buy multiple units of a product and not just a single product? Is it just in the product form that you...
To force them?
Yeah, they're forced.
So when we see that you could configure packaging on product, so in the sales, so these are the packaging that will be available for the product. Even on your e-commerce, they will be able to select the
Packaging, yeah.
the packaging in the list you provided there, but you cannot prevent them to use the basic unit of your product. If you want to force them to use that unit, it should be the main unit of your product.
Yeah, and in that case, it means that you have to change it here by saying that, okay, it's always 6 units and I do not want them to buy it by 1. You can change it here and, for instance, it will be done. Here, of course, you have the warning saying that, okay, what do you expect with the configuration you have done
You
already?
are not blocked.
No, you're
But
not
you
blocked.
have a
You're not
warning,
blocked. You're
be
not blocked.
careful of what you are doing, yes.
Okay, going on. So is it possible to close the valuation movement? So once you've closed the valuation movement, once you've closed the accounting, you shouldn't be able to move any stock.
So
You
that's
should be able to.
So about the valuation
Yeah.
movement, is it possible to close it once you've closed the accounting as well?
it
You
should
mean
not,
like-
no,
Like not being able to
basically
change
it's an accounting feature and we are not experts in accounting, but if you have set a closing date on your accounting, there is no possibility to create journal entries for this previous period. So as soon as you have done that, if you go in the inventory evaluation for a date before this closing, you will not be able to post your entries, you will be blocked.
So would it be possible to use the suggest function from a product point of view or inventory point of view instead of from an RFQ?
So directly going, instead of like, here you're on a product and you would like to have the suggested quantity from here instead of creating an RFQ and going to the catalog.
No.
That's something not possible right now, but that could be a good
that
feedback
could be a good one, yes.
that we can do maybe
I will note
later.
it on my
Yeah.
phone after.
Is it possible to run a historical stock valuation report by location or by warehouse, which apparently was not possible in version 8?
The
So
historic,
it's the same.
yeah, it's
It's the same question, I guess, that we had before. Normally
Yeah.
it should be possible, but you have to use the filter in the inventory, in the stock report, and it's applied to the computation of the report. Maybe you can. Do you have several warehouses?
I have just created 2, but I don't know if I have data for this one. I don't think. You see,
Right.
everything is at 0. So
No, but here in the search, put warehouse. What's the name?
I
Warehouse
took
2.
I put like warehouse 2 maybe. I will just put
And
2 maybe,
There,
so that I'm sure.
search warehouse. Yes. No, select the warehouse.
Wait, I will just do it again.
Select your warehouse.
That's
Now
it.
do inventory at date.
Yeah,
Today, yesterday.
but I don't think I have data on this. No, I would
Yes,
think
but everything is 0 because that warehouse is
Yeah.
empty and the other warehouse is not empty. So the report has taken into account the filter. That
yeah.
I see someone who is saying no, so we can take a look after.
We don't hear.
Sorry.
We don't hear this. I think it's over, guys. I don't know about the team over there. It's all good.
So if
Yeah.
we didn't have the time to answer your question, because there was a lot, I guess, feel free to come at the booth. In the Odoo village, we have an inventory booth, and we are there, so ask